Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be video number 3 on our beginner series of Marvel Contest of Champions, and today's video is going to be 7 tips that you must know as a beginner. So number 1 is going to be the most important, in my opinion, for any beginner to know, which is do not sell champions. If you saw my initial giant beginner guide, my ultimate beginner guide, if not, I'll link it in the video below, but if you've seen that, you'll know I do not like selling champions. It is not good. There's no benefits to it except for an immediate minuscule amount of ISO and gold and some shards. That is not worth it at all. Let me see if I have any crystals that I can open for you guys right now and maybe get a dupe. Okay, so I have 2 on a new account. This might not be give me any dupes, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so as you can see here, I got 1 single dupe from Hulkbuster. You could tell because, for one, it says it up here under the 2 out of 2. It says 1 duplicate, and then his profile is blue and it says duplicate when you click on it. So the reason you shouldn't sell is because when you get a character that you already have, you get something called a duplicate, or a dupe for short, which powers up their signature ability, as you saw there. Depending on the star level of the dupe that you get equivalent shards and ISO. So for 2-star dupes, you'll get 3-star shards and tier 2 and 3 ISO. If you dupe 3 stars, you get tier 4 ISO and 4-star shards, and then 4 stars, 5 stars, and 6 stars, you get tier 5 ISO, 24 bricks, which is a ton of ISO, and even if you don't need that ISO, you can sell it for gold. I think per brick, it's close to like 1,000, so per dupe, you're getting like 25,000 value, something like that if you want to sell it. And then you're also going to, again, increase their level and get the shards equivalent to 1 level above, except for 6 stars. You get nothing basically. Once your signature ability is capped out, you get something called a max signature ability crystal, which it's basically a roll for an additional set of shards, or an awakening gem of the class above, or a white iron fist, which is a trophy champion. Is the same thing as Iron Fist, same abilities, it's just he has a different skin. It's called Immortal Iron Fist, and he's a very sought after, very rare champion just because that's the only way you can get him, and then it's a super low chance. So yeah, do not sell champions, no matter what. I don't care what the reason is. There's 0 reason to sell champions. Don't do it. Next tip is masteries. Masteries are hugely important, and I feel like most people think when you go into a new game, new account, what you should try and do is pump up your attack. Do not do that. Do not do that here. There's not much benefit to it, in my opinion. If you were, the most important ones are going to be precision and cruelty, because they give you flat increases to those stats, which I think equal out to somewhere around like 10% each. Could be wrong, but yeah, like this one, that increases your attack by 1.6%. When you're first starting out the game, your character's attack and values and stuff like that are so low that this 1% might not even be a single attack damage value. It offers very little value at the beginning of the game. So I would recommend not worrying about offense at all, and instead working on your proficiencies initially and then moving into defense. So through proficiencies, you have your parry mastery, which decreases the damage you take on a perfect block, which is pressing block at the correct moment, as you learned in the tutorial of the game, I think, as well as it stuns the opponent, and that time scales up slightly with your perfect block chance. You can also get Stupefy, which will increase the duration of that stun off of your parry and any other stuns in the game. So you can use Stupefy along with the increased duration on parry to override or get through characters like Rogue and Karnak and Groot that shrug off debuffs earlier. So without these masteries, you might not be able to parry and hit into them. Meanwhile, with this, you can. You also want to make sure you get dexterity, because this is what allows you to evade special attacks. So later on in the game, there will be characters and nodes that have unblockable abilities, and you can use dexterity to swipe back and dash back, thus evading that ability that should be unblockable. It's super important for the end game and as you're progressing, because you can take as little damage as possible by evading. If you're not getting touched, there's no risk in you dying, so you're going to do better at the game. It's just very beneficial. It's a must-have, and yeah. After you get those 3 maxed out, you can do what I did and put some points into experience. It's not a huge experience gain. However, what a lot of people don't realize is that you get this off of every time you move over a node in a quest. So if you have 20 nodes on a quest, you're getting this additional 30 experience per node, which adds up to 600, I think, if I'm doing math right. So that's an additional 600 per quest or per path, which isn't very much, but if you're exploring a certain piece of content, that can add up to 6,000 whatever, which could be an additional 5%. It's just a lot of this game is taking all the small little increments that you get and adding them until you get a big payout. So this isn't hugely important, but it's just something I wanted to do just to kind of maximize my experience gains, because I also think that 30 is affected by both of these experience boosts. So if this is accurate, then I'm actually getting an additional 60, like 2 or something like that, 61 per node. Again, not hugely important, but just my personal preference. And then after that, I would move into defense and start with block proficiency and perfect block. Both of these are just to increase your survivability in general questing. However, perfect block, if you remember, parry duration scales with perfect block. So if you're increasing your perfect block chance by 4, you're getting a very slight increase in that duration from parry. Again, just kind of things synergizing together. And then in the defense tree, the ultimate goal is to unlock willpower. So what willpower does is anytime that you have a debuff on you, you're going to begin healing. So let's say you're fighting an Iron Fist or a Spider-Man, you slip up and get hit. If their ability to armor break you procs, you'll get that armor break on you, but because it doesn't do any damage, you'll just gain a flat % health regen on your character, and you might be able to heal that up per like duration of the fight or whatever. This is very important on certain characters like Corvus, Kingpin, Omega Red, characters that can have debuffs on themselves without any negative effects, sometimes even applying it to themselves in the case of Kingpin, where they're just passive, or they're just debuffs that don't do anything, but they essentially just constantly gives them like a permanent heal. So this is the ultimate goal, but it's kind of expensive, and I get there by going up to Solve, which gives you an additional 4 health per tick over 60 seconds, not applicable to robots. Same thing with Willpower, and then I move into Recovery because this increases all passive regeneration abilities in the game. So Willpower, it increases. Solve, it increases if you're using a character like Iron Man or something that has a regen on their abilities, it increases that. This can kind of offset the poison healing reduction that is in the game, which I'll explain in an entirely different video. But yeah, I would only worry about these two as a beginner, and when you feel more confident, when you get 4 and 5 star champions where those attack values start getting higher up in there, then you can start focusing on offense. But again, I would only do this with excess points once you're done with all the abilities here. Next tip number 3, don't buy champion crystals. I know it's very tempting to see this nice Iceman who's a super strong character and it's only 150 units and there's a 4% chance to get a 4-star or a 25% chance at a 3-star. That means you basically have a 30% chance of getting a 3 or 4-star, which is super good, but it's not worth it. It still means that there's overall a 70% chance of not getting a 3 or 4 star, which means most likely you're gonna end up spending 150 units, which are very valuable, on something that has not much value. So do not buy crystals. In my opinion, it's not valuable, because even this one, that's 150 units. That's the equivalent of 4 revives or 5 energy refills, which you can use to get through a lot more content than you would with whatever you pull from here. Again, you can hit the lotto and it could be worth it, but in most cases it won't, so I'm not going to advise it, because consistency and efficiency is key in this game. And that goes for every type of crystal. So premium, hero crystals, the feature crystals, all that kind of stuff. If you have to spend units on it, don't do it unless it's some sort of like 4th of July deal where it's like 1,000 units for a 6-star hero or something crazy like that. So number 4, don't use your energy refills early on. This is very tempting for a lot of people, especially if you're trying to push through content and you're just questing throughout the day and you're so close to being at the end and you're about to fall asleep or whatever the case is. You'll say, hey, they're continuously giving them to me as I level up and through all of these different milestones, and I have 30 of them, why not use it? They are very valuable because you need them to push through content. And at the lower levels, when you're under level like 20, when your energy capacity isn't 49, it's maybe 25 or something like that, you're not getting as much energy as you would be if you save it until this point of the game. So what I would advise is to just push as much as possible, and then if you do need extra energy, use these small energy refills instead and try and get to that level up, because when you level up is when your energy bar resets and it increases. So let's say there are exceptions. So let's say I was at 0 energy right now, and as you can see, my experience bar next to the level 31 is only about 25%. I know if I use an energy refill that by the time I'm done using all of my energy, most likely I'm not going to hit that level 2. So right now would be fine for me to use the energy refill. But if I was at 95%, 96%, like I'm just about to level, why would you use an energy refill to do maybe 1 or 2 fights and use maybe 7 or 8 energy to get that level up and then have it refill automatically? All the rest of that energy that you could have used is just gone because it got reset when you leveled up. Instead, again, use that small energy refill, hit your Alliance Help button to see if maybe some people can click it for you and give that couple extra energy, and then level up and get that free energy refill from when it resets by leveling up. That would be my advice. And as you can see, currently, let's go to my inventory. I currently have 9 of the small ones, and I'm maxed out at 10 out of 10 of the big energy refills. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 currently. I have used some, but that means when I do start pushing into Act 4 or doing Act 3 exploration or exploring the monthly event quest, I have a total of, 22 or 23 energy refills, which is basically enough to explore most things there. So yeah, wait until you're higher level to use those energy refills, just because the higher your level is when you use them, the more value you get out of them. Tip number 5, arena. Do arena. As a new character, arena is massively important for multiple reasons. As you're doing them, you get all of these rewards. You get the hero crystal shards, you get the units, you get the gold, which you use to level up, rank up, all that kind of stuff. So all of these milestone rewards are massive early on, especially. But more importantly than that, when you first start an account, in your first 60 days, you're in a different bracket than everybody else. So if you're a fan of Seaton or Brian Grant and you hear them talking about the massive arena scores that you have to get new champions, you're not part of that crew. In your first 30 days, you're in something called the beginner's bracket, and then from days 31 to 60, you're in the intermediate bracket. And for these, you can get these 4-star characters for super low. I'd probably guess somewhere around 500 to 600 between both of the, or 500 to 600,000 for each of these, which on average, I'd say per round of 3 stars, you're getting somewhere around 10 to 15,000 points. So you probably need to do like 50 to 60 rounds, which spread over 3 days isn't that much. And you're getting free 4 stars, free units. Even if you miss the 4-star full champion, you're getting a 5-star shards and 4-star shards. And again, you're doing this over 2 separate arenas, typically 2 separate arenas over 2 separate sets per week. So you can double up on these rewards and then double up on them per week, because arena goes on once every 3 days with a cooldown period on Sunday. So do arena. It's very time consuming, very boring, but especially as a beginner, you can also use this as a way to practice your mechanics, practice characters that maybe you're using 5 specific characters for questing and you just pulled one and it's not quite that strong, so you're not sure if you should put it into your team because it's still rank 1, level 10 or whatever, while your other ones are rank 3. You can use it to test in here to see how it feels and say, hey, you know what, maybe I do want to rank up this champion and swap him out. So do arena. Tip number 6, I think. 6 is going to be read nodes. Read nodes, read nodes, read nodes. Now, pre-Act 4, I think, it's probably not that relevant to you because most nodes are going to not have anything on them. However, when you start getting into the monthly quests, variant quests and stuff like that, you see how this one has an orange border around it, whereas the other ones kind of have that gray one, and there's no, like, it has the little circle, that orange circle. That means that this node has additional modifiers on it. So if you just click his portrait, you'll see all the different modifiers on it, and it is very important to read these, because I actually think in this quest on the previous mission, so alright, so in this quest, this Deadpool, if you click it, he has a node called Biohazard, which is every time you're struck, you have a 20% chance to be inflicted with a bleed, dealing 100% of the attack as direct damage over 75 seconds, or if you attack into their block, you can get a poison instead, which a higher chance. So if you go into this fight without having a poison immune or a bleed immune, especially a bleed immune, you're going to get bled a lot, you're going to get poisoned a lot, and it could be the difference between being able to beat this boss or not being able to beat this boss. So if you don't go into this quest and read these nodes, you could end up wasting all this energy to get to the final boss and then being stuck because you don't have a way to beat it because it has a modifier that you didn't end up reading. So make sure you read nodes when you start getting into content like this, because it is very important. Also, more obviously, I would recommend whenever you get a new character, just do a brief look at their abilities. So if you see on the right here, it says abilities, you can click that window, see all of their different abilities here. Just do a little brief read through them, read through their synergies, read through their tags on the bottom left, see if they have anything that synergizes with anything or anything like that. So like the Blade with Ghost Synergy has a synergy where his ability procs with rivals or against enemies or villains. I don't know why I said rivals, sorry. His ability procs against villains. So if you're just reading through the tags as you get characters, you'll be able to know who's a villain, who's not, if you're not familiar with Marvel lore. But yeah, that's just another aside. And tip number 7. Tip number 7 is a tip that not many people know, but it is pretty efficient. So you see this Summoner Sigil Gold quest here. You get one that increases with the values. So like this one is the proven difficulty, which gives 50,000. You can see the difficulty because it says proven up top, and then the quest rewards, if you click that on the bottom left, it says 50,000. This is tied to your progression level, and every time you level up, this resets. So as you can see here, this is 100% explored right now because I already did it. If I was to go into Act 4 and complete this and get to the next progression level, this would reset right now, and I could double up on the gold rewards, even though it hasn't been a week for it to reset, if that makes sense. So you can kind of double dip on the gold rewards if you're progressing really quickly and can do it within the day. So I would definitely recommend at the beginning, where it's pretty easy to progress the different progression levels, because it's, again, like I said, it's tied to Acts 1 to Act 2, Act 3. So if you do Act 1, or before you finish Act 1, do the whatever progression title it is of that gold quest. Complete Act 1, you'll get the challenger, it'll reset, you can get the gold again. Then you do Act 2, since you've already beat it, it'll reset, so on and so forth. Again, it's just not something that's going to break the game or anything like that. It's just to be a little bit more efficient with your time and kind of double dip on rewards. And tip number 8. Tip number 8 is a bonus tip, just because I didn't think about it until right now. But utilize something called Aunt May. Let's see if I can pull it up. There you go. So I'll pull it up right here, and as you can see, it's just like a normal website. You click champion info, and then it has a list of all the characters, all of them. Every character that's in the game you can see here. You just click the character, it'll show all of their signature ability, all of their different abilities here. If you scroll down, you'll see all the synergies that they have on the top, and then below this line is all the synergies that they get. So if you're trying to build a specific team, you can just come here and say, okay, well, I want Human Torch. I know I need it for this boss. Who else can I bring to support that's going to make him as strong as possible? This website has just so much utility. At the end game, if you're looking for prestige, you can come here and you can just add champions. You can make a list of all your characters, their signature levels, and you can find out your prestige. So you can try and, if you're at that end top game where everything is about prestige, you can see which rank ups would benefit you the most for prestige. There is a mastery calculator here. So if you want to see how many points you can have or how much it would cost to get a specific tree, it'll have all that information here. I use this website every day. This website is hugely beneficial if you're ever bored on break or something like that at work. If you're really trying to progress in this game and be as good as possible, I would recommend just coming here, picking a champion, and just reading through what he does. Just take a really quick glance, just look, click through everything, see some of their synergies, and yeah, this website is massive, and that is my bonus tip, and these are all 8 of my tips. If you guys appreciated it, if you guys are going to use it, if you guys didn't like it, think it sucks, whatever, let me know in the comments below. Let me know how I can get better. Let me know what information was good, what information wasn't. If you're interested in these types of videos going forward, hit the subscribe button, because I will be trying to do daily like beginner guides, because it doesn't seem like there's that much beginner content for Marvel Contest of Champions on YouTube. It seems like everything is catered towards people that already play the game or are at the upper echelon of things. So I'm trying to cater towards those people that are first getting in and don't really know all of the lingo or where to find everything. And yeah, if you're into that, hit subscribe, because I'll try and have daily, if not bi-daily content. And appreciate you guys for watching, for stopping by. Any feedback, anything like that. Love you guys, be safe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!